My Surfshark subscription has been running for over 3 years now, and a lot of things have changed in the app during that time. So I thought I'd give you an updated Surfshark review and show you how to use Surfshark VPN, or at least how I use it. You'll see my exact settings, what I disable, what I always keep on, and the things that I like and dislike about this VPN. So this is how the Surfshark VPN app looks right now, on Windows at least, but it's pretty similar across all devices. You can install it on pretty much anything you want, no matter how many devices you have, since there is literally no limit. But can you trust it in terms of privacy protection? I only found one potential drawback. This VPN is based in the Netherlands, a country that can be pretty privacy intrusive. That said, Surfshark has a strict no-logs policy which ensures that they don't track what you do online, and this is backed by regular independent expert audits as well as RAM-based servers which are designed to not actually retain any information long-term. Yet the reason I have this subscription for so long isn't the privacy measures. Most decent VPNs offer the exact same thing. What got me to stay was the fact that this VPN provides privacy and good performance for one of the lowest VPN price points. However, like most VPNs, Surfshark tends to hide its best offers. So if you need it, you can scan this QR code or just check the link in the description for the latest Surfshark discount. Before you decide whether to try it or not, let me show you how to use Surfshark VPN and what else this app can do. So the main thing to know is connecting to a VPN server. This is what will protect and hide what you do online. I typically just press the quick connect button whenever I just want to browse privately, but when I do need a specific server, like when I'm planning to stream something from a foreign library, well, there's a search bar, as well as a list. In total, I mostly use like 4 or 5 locations, but Surfshark has a selection of servers in 100 countries. A VPN connection is great for enhancing your online privacy, but Surfshark is also a solid choice for streaming. I just connect to whatever country I need and load the streaming service. I do sometimes need to switch server or clear my browser cache to get it to work, but that's like 5% of the time maybe. With torrenting, I'd actually say that Surfshark is pretty average. Most server locations do work for P2P, but not all of them. And I wish they were marked more clearly in the app. That said, if you just input P2P in the search bar, you can see all of the P2P servers in one place. Now, this wouldn't be a proper review of Surfshark VPN if we didn't talk about performance. Generally, whenever I'm browsing or streaming with Surfshark on, I don't really notice, there's no slowdowns, which means that Surfshark has a minimal impact on connection speed. But let's check that. I ran a new batch of speed tests with Ookla in 3 different Surfshark VPN server locations. Overall, Surfshark retained around 92% of my speed on average, which places this VPN just a smidge below NordVPN. While Surfshark was speedy from the beginning, I feel like the connection stability improved a lot over the last few years. I first noticed a difference back when Surfshark pulled all of the servers into one network with the Nexus update, and recently they introduced the Everlink self-healing technology for the same purpose. The kill switch kicks in much less because of this too. It's the feature that disables internet access if the VPN connection drops. Either way, I recommend turning it on for extra safety. Speaking of settings, let me show you my setup. The main things are all in the VPN settings section, including the kill switch. Underneath it is the option to select a tunneling protocol. I just leave this on automatic. It just chooses the fastest option, which in 99% of the time is WireGuard. I also have a couple of apps selected in the bypasser, aka split tunneling, like Steam and Spotify, which don't really need a VPN connection. Now there's also an option here to customize how the quick connect button works. I have it on the fastest location option, but you can even select a specific server here. As for auto connect, I don't really use this one as I test a lot of other VPNs, so I would just have to keep turning it on and off. But it is good if you're on public networks a lot, so you wouldn't have to keep turning Surfshark on manually. I'll be honest, there are some really advanced settings in here, and personally, I don't really touch them. Rotating IP, for example, can mitigate the chance of cross-site tracking. I'm just not that bothered by the potential of website tracking. I also rarely use the specialized servers. These are cool, but they're also pretty niche in terms of their purpose. So for casual use, I don't need them that often. What I do use is the alternative ID tool. I have a fake email from it linked to my real one. This comes in handy since I test a ton of online tools and not all of them turn out to be legit. So with the alternative email, my real one isn't exposed. There's an option to use an alternative number as well, but this one's a paid add-on and I just don't see the need for it. At least not yet. Another Surfshark feature I pretty much swear by is Clean Web, but I don't have it on the app. That's because the Surfshark browser extension has a better version of it, aka Clean Web 2.0. It is really effective at blocking ads, whether it's banners, pop-ups, or even video ones. I mean, yeah, it can break a few sites from time to time. I've noticed some missing buttons in the shopping checkout, due to which I wasn't able to proceed with the purchase, but it's super easy to turn off and back on again. So this isn't a huge issue for me. The Surfshark browser extension also has some pretty cool website safety settings. It warns me about websites with previous data breaches and stops me from entering malicious sites. So that's pretty much how I use Surfshark VPN features, but if you take a look at their pricing and plans page, you'll see that it's not all that Surfshark offers. What we talked about in this Surfshark review so far is only the feature set of the starter plan, which covers all the VPN benefits. But then there's Surfshark One, with a set of additional tools, and One Plus, which adds a whole separate service to the mix, Incogni, meant for personal data removal from around the web. But even the higher tier plans are very affordable, especially when you compare the Surfshark prices with other VPNs. Of course, don't forget to use the discount link from the description to see the best prices. I went for the Surfshark One plan, so let me show you what I got from it and what I actually ended up using. The main reason I opted for this plan was the antivirus. It is the same Surfshark app, so I didn't need to install anything additionally. I often run malware tests for this channel, and in the latest batch, Surfshark literally got the same score as the legendary Norton antivirus, but was much faster. The only drawback was higher CPU usage, but it's not really an issue when the scan's so fast. In terms of antivirus settings, I've got real-time protection turned on, as well as webcam protection to just be sure that no one is secretly watching, even if that's an unlikely scenario. Now, as for other Surfshark One tools, there's Surfshark Search Engine. It removes sponsored results and ads, but I just don't reach for it that often. I'm much more used to built-in search engines on my browser. Surfshark Alert is another added feature which keeps an eye out for breaches related to your account. I have data breach monitoring from my NordPass subscription, so I don't really need this one, but I do recommend having this on if you don't have an alternative. Pretty recently I noticed that Surfshark added an email scam checker button in my email. That's now also part of the Surfshark One bundle. To be honest, it felt a bit intrusive, so I dived right into their privacy settings. Surfshark only checks the email when you allow it with the click of that button, and they don't collect or store those emails as per their privacy policy. So no red flags here, thankfully, and this is a pretty cool feature. I immediately installed it on my parents' browser. So is Surfshark good? Yes. It's not perfect, but to me, the pros far outweigh the cons tenfold easily. I can highly recommend checking this VPN out. It's capable, reliable, fast, and most importantly, still affordable. Just don't forget to grab a discount. I hope this Surfshark VPN review and Surfshark guide was helpful, and if you've used this VPN yourself, feel free to share your own Surfshark review and experience in the comments. You'll be helping others out. Cheers.